So this will be a one-shot video on Python programming, and we are approaching our practical exam of class 8. So hope this video will help you. I'll be using an ID PyCharm. So we'll go to this file option and create a new file. So I'll give the name as sum_avg.py. So this program will actually find sum and average of three integers. So let us write the comment sum and average of three integers. Clear? So we need three numbers. So for this we'll give a message by using print. Print within single quotes we are writing enter three integers, and then we'll take three values from user in three variables a, b and c. So a equals to, I'll convert the input which is text or string by default into integer by using int function, and I'll write input. So input function will take the input and int function will convert the input into integer. Let us copy and paste this. So twice we have duplicated. Second variable will be b and third variable will be c. After this we must calculate the sum. Sum equals to a plus b plus c. Now average is avg equals to sum by how many numbers are there? 3 numbers. So I will divide it by 3. I'll get the average and avg. Now we can print. P should be small. Sum equals to, and then after comma we'll write the variable name. It should be this small sum. Okay. Now another way is there to print. So we can write print within single quotes. We'll write average equals to, within curly brace I can put the average variable which is avg. As because we are writing a single string and displaying value of variable, it must be a formatted string. So F in front, Control S to save, Shift F10 to run. Let us see. So it is not running the same program because it should be running the current file. So I have to select the current file. Let us run Shift F10. Three numbers should be given 23. You must press enter. You cannot write directly. Three numbers side by side. So three inputs are given. If we add, we'll get 146 as the sum and the average is 48.66. Okay, so let us directly create a file from here. File, Python file. Now we'll be calculating simple interest. So I'll write si.py. This is a new file. So I'll write a comment program to calculate simple interest. Okay, so three variables: principal, rate of interest and time is to be taken. So a message on the screen, first of all, print, and then enter principal, comma, rate of interest and time. Suppose this time is in years. So time in years, colon sign separate. You may not give the colon. So P will take the principal. So it should be an integer. Principal should be an integer. Say int of input then we have r. R is rate of interest. It may be fraction, it may be 6.25, it may be 7.1. So it should be float of input. Done. And T is time. Time should be in years. So int of input. So input function always takes the data in string that should be converted into any numeric type. So we have converted. We'll calculate SI, simple interest, as T into R into t by 100. It is done. So I'll write print simple interest equals to, a comma can be given, and we'll write SI. So this is done. Control S to save, Shift F10 to run. So it is running, and we will give principal as 10,000, or rate of interest suppose is 7.5, and if we invest it for 5 years, it will be 3750 as simple interest. Okay, so this is the simple interest program. So we have done two programs that actually gives us the idea of sequence. Okay, so let us come to the next concept, which is called branching. So file, new, Python file, odd even check, CHK. So we'll write a comment, program to check whether an input integer is odd or even. So we need a number. I'll show you another way to take input. Okay, we can directly write it using a single line. So n is the variable where I'll take the value. We'll convert the input to integer. Then I can write input. As we are not writing any print statement, we will give the message inside input. Enter. This is another way to take input. Enter an integer. So user will definitely enter an integer. This input function will give me the message on the screen. As I enter a number, it will be converted into integer by using this int function, and then it will be stored in n. So n now has an integer in it. Okay, so we can check if an integer is divisible by 2 perfectly. That means it leaves remainder as 0. We can say it is a even number, because even numbers are perfectly divisible by 2. So there is a operator called modulo division operator or modulus operator, okay, using which we can actually find out whether the remainder of a division is 0 or not. So we will write that it is a percentage sign, that is called modulus operator. So if n is the number, modulo divided by, it also divides but leaves the remainder as result, not the quotient. So if n modulus 2 equals to 0, so it is relational operation, equality check, a colon should be given. Then we should write it from here where the cursor is blinking. Okay, we should not write it from the beginning of the line, because it is inside if statement. Indentation must be maintained. So we can write printf, print. What is the number? Number is n. Then we can give comma, then within quotes we can write is even. Look, there is no space in front of is, but still as I have separated with comma, there will be a space in between. So number will be displayed, then it will be displayed as is even. So if the number is 6, it will display 6 is even. If it is 2, it will display 2 is even. If it is 4, it will display 4 is even, like this. Else, if a number is not even, obviously it will be odd. So I'll write print n is the number, give a comma, and after that is odd. Done. So this is the program. Shift F10 to 7 run. So enter an integer. It is asking for an integer. Okay. And we'll be writing suppose 45, and 45 is odd. Okay. Next, if I run it again, if we give 24, it will be called an even number. So 24 is even. So hope you have understood how to branch, how to take alternate paths of execution using if else. Okay. We can do another program. File new. Vote or not. We have to find out whether a person can vote in India or not by accepting the person's age. We know that the voting right is given from age of 18. Okay, so we have to check for 18. The question is voting eligibility single L, I think. Check. Okay, so obviously I will take age equals to int input. The message should be given, enter your age, and after that we will check if age is greater than equals to 18. If somebody is 18 or above, he is eligible to vote. So we can write print you can vote. Clear? And if the age is not equals to 18 or not greater than 18, that means it is less than 18. So in that case, we'll write you can't vote. So I have copied and pasted it. Okay. So why this is showing an error? Because this is a single quotes. Okay. And this terminates this or completes this string. So I must write this line within double quotes or use the escape sequence. So I am writing this using double quotes. So the entire string is showing using double quotes. Now there is no problem. So F5, oh sorry, Shift F10 to run, and let us give the age. Age is 34, suppose. You can vote. If it is 15, you can't vote. Done. So branching is done. Okay, now we'll go for loop. Okay, loop means repetition. So in this, we'll learn a very simple program to print a multiplication table of any given number. Okay, so multiplication table consists of 10 lines. So if I have to write 10 lines, okay, I have to write 10 lines. Otherwise, I can use loop to write a single line, and that should be repeated to form all these 10 lines of multiplication table. So let us see how loop can be used to create a multiplication table of any given number. So I'll create another Python file, and this time this will be multab any. Why I am giving such names? Because these files may be present in this particular folder. So multab any means for any number we can display the multiplication table. So I'll write a comment. Comment will help you to understand what the program is doing. That means it should be the first line explaining the program. So multiplication table generator. Okay, so we need a number for multiplication table generation. This time we will be using while loop, and we will convert the same program in to a for loop program also. Okay, so this time first of all it is done using what? While loop. So there must be a number, so it should be n. So we are writing n equals to, say, int input, enter the number for multiplication table. Okay, so multiplication table needs a number, so the number will be stored in n. Now let us take another variable called lines. So 10 lines will be there. Okay, so line should be initialized with 1. So this is line 1, suppose. Okay, now we can write while. How many lines we are going to display? 10 lines. So lines is less than equals to 10. That means as long as the value of lines remains less than 11, that means it is either less or equals to 10. So it is from 1 to 10 to be more precise. As long as the value of lines is 1 to 10, each time the value of line is less than equals to 10, we are going to print a line. So how multiplication tables are written? Suppose n is 5, so we will be writing like this: 5 into symbol, then 1, then equals to, we must do a calculation, 5 into 1. Okay, we must do a calculation, 5 into 1. So from where 5 will come? 5 is the number, so number is there in n. So 5 should be replaced by n. First time the line is stored in what? Line is stored in lines, okay, which is 1. Second time when line increments to 2, it will give 2 here in the second line. So it should be lines. Clear? And then 5 is taken from n and 1 is taken from lines. You will write. So this is the format in which data should be displayed, because for multiplying we should use asterisk, and this x can be used as multiplication symbol. Okay, so this must be written within print. So I'll write print, because within that entire string we are going to display different variables. It should be a formatted output, so f in front, and each variable from where value should come should be put inside curly brace. Done? So lines is also a variable, it should be again within curly brace. Now this calculation must also be kept in curly braces. Done. And after that I will close the parenthesis. Now if the first line is displayed, we must go to the next line. To go to the next line, we should write lines equals to lines plus 1. That's it. Shift F10. If I run this and give an input as 19, it will be displaying a multiplication table of 19. Clear? So this is how we can write while loop to generate multiplication table. Apart from while loop, this multiplication table can also be generated by using a for loop also. So let us save this program with a new name, file, save as. It will keep the same content. Okay. instead of any, I'll write any hyphen for. I'll be using for loop. I'll write using for loop. So this lines variable may not be initialized initially. Why? Because in for loop we have the chance to initialize it. So we'll be writing for loop like this. For lines in range. Range means it is a collection of numbers, sequence of numbers. Okay, so it starts from 1, it reaches up to less than 11. The second value is the limit, and limit is checked like this line's value is less than this value 11. So in that case, this plus lines equals to lines plus 1 is not needed, because each time this loop is executed, okay, as long as the value of lines is less than 11, it will increment the value of line by 1 every time. So for loop is a very simple and small solution as compared to while loop. So everything happens within a single line. So shift F7, F10 to run, and let us give suppose 63. See, it is also displaying a multiplication table. So you have understood how to create multiplication table using for loop also. Now let us create another file. Name it as, say, multiples of 17. Okay, we are going to find out all numbers that are multiples of 17 up to a given number. So .py is the extension. I'll write the program's theme as program to display multiple multiples of 17 up to n, or up to the value of n. So n must be taken from user. So suppose n equals to int input within quotes enter n. So we'll get a value in n. Now how do I find whether a number is multiple of 17 or not? So first multiple of 17 is 17. 17 into 1 is 17. Okay, so we'll set a number as S should be set to 17. Okay, and I'll write while S is less than equals to n, so the number must be within the value of n. Okay, so up to n, how many multiples of 17 is there? So how can I find out multiple of 17? If the number is less than 17, we know it is a multiple. Yes or no? If the number n is if the number is greater than 17, so 17 is a multiple which is inside this range of natural numbers. So it is a multiple of 17 below n. So we can directly print the value of s. S is 17. So if n is greater than or equals to s, s will be printed. Then we know repeated addition is multiplication. If I add 17 to this, we will reach the next multiple of 17. 17 into 2, 34. So we can either multiply or we can add. So let us add now. S equals to s plus 17. It will take me to the next multiple of 17. By adding 70 to 17, it will become 34. And then again the check will happen. Is 34 less than equals to n? If it is so, so it is within the range. We should print it and again increment s by 17. It will go to the next multiple, which is 51. 34 plus 17 is 51. So if the numbers are displayed, we will not be able to understand why these numbers are displayed. So we can print a appropriate message, print multiples. It should be within quotes, multiples of 17 within n. So we can print the value of n also. Okay. So we can put a curly brace and give the value of n, a colon sign, quote should be completed, and this should be a formatted output because n is put inside curly braces. Okay, clear? So now if I run this program and give n as 200, it will display all the multiples of 17 within 200. So first multiple is 17, 17 into 1, then 34, 51, 68 like this. Okay. See, all these numbers are divisible by 17 and are less than 200. Done? Clear? All the best for your practicals.